What's going on, guys? This is Ode Osborne, UFC flyweights, and this is Gwaan with Ode Osborne. And if you don't know what Wagwan means, Wagwan in Patois means what's up. So I'm here with Iridium manager Jason House and his beautiful wife, Alyssa House. So, Jason, Wagwan, mi brother, Wagwan. How you doing, man? How's everything been?
Doing good.
Yeah, Alyssa, how are you? How are you doing today?
I'm good.
It's so good to have you guys for the show, and I just want to say thank you, guys. I know you're a busy guy, man. Every time I see you, I feel like you have a separate house on a plane. Like I feel like you're always traveling. Like both of you guys, you're always traveling. So, where were you last?
Actually, I just did a trip to Penn State to meet some of the wrestlers out there. And then I went to North Carolina to meet with Brian Battle and his team out there and stuff. So just kind of visiting, our clients and making sure everyone's doing good.
Yeah, man, Brian Battle is such an interesting guy. I've always wanted to meet him because he reminds me of he reminds me of Jordan Levitt. They have like very interesting personality. What's he like?
He's honestly amazing. Like being able to spend that time with him in North Carolina was awesome because I saw him interact with his son, and he's bringing his son to the gym, and he's balancing the family life with training full time. And it's been such a blessing too because now that we've had some success in the UFC, he's been able to train full time, and he's really just been blossoming. And I think he's got a great program there. His coach Tom is amazing, and he really is someone that just train, spend time with family, spend time with family. I mean, you get that vibe from him. And
That's amazing, man. If he ever comes to Vegas, let him know that I'm reaching out to him or link us together because I would love to have him on the show.
Honestly, he's got some great stories. I don't want to, I'll let him tell them.
Yeah,
but man, his upbringing and just how he got MMA and his weight loss journey and everything that happened, it's just amazing.
Oh man, I would love to have him on because his personality is amazing. Like I just something about him, the way that he speaks and he's himself, and I love that he's able to be himself. And that's another thing I want to do with the show is take athletes and put them on my show and let them be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times on social media, we have to act a different way in order to get seen. And I want to provide a platform where you can just be yourself, and so people can see a different side of you.
Yeah.
Like I just had like Joaquin Buckley and Jamal Hill on the show the other day, and they're actually very intelligent, and it's awesome that they get to share that with the fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they see a different side. Even like Joaquin, he does a lot of comedical stuff on his page.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of feedback about him being like, man, that guy's so intelligent, or you know what I'm saying? He's so yeah, man. Speaking of weight loss, Dana White has been looking incredible. He's on this new weight loss program I've been hearing. Well, that's amazing. So do you know any more about that?
I mean, I actually researched that company. It's called 10X, and I guess they really work with a lot of successful businessmen and older males, probably females too. Really just trying to take a look at their lifestyle, their eating habits. They do blood work. I mean, they basically just analyze you from head to toe, and analyze what needs to be maybe adjusted or fixed. But I'm definitely interested and curious to learn more about it. I actually scheduled a call with them on Thursday to learn more about it. And kudos to Dana because it takes. I mean, he's one of the most busiest men that I've ever known, and that's it's good that he's taking care of himself first.
Yeah, Dana is extremely busy, and even getting on a call with him it's like getting on a call with the president, Man, and speaking of that, so Alyssa, I had a question for you. Did you know what you were signing up for when you met Jason?
I did not. Because Jason had like maybe 8 clients in the UFC when we met. So when I found out it like involves traveling, I was like, oh no, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to date anyone who travels for work. And he was like, oh, I hardly travel. Like, and it was at the time hardly traveling. And he was like, oh, I really want to hang out with you, but my client lives with me. Is it okay if he comes with us everywhere? I'm like, sure. Like, and that was actually Cheeto. So it was very interesting from the beginning, but it was always fun. So yeah, definitely had no idea it was going to turn into this.
I bet.
Full disclosure, though, I did ask you on the first date if you had a passport because I knew there would be some traveling. Like it wasn't like I lied to her, Odie. I don't want you thinking I misled her.
I was like,
I did say, hey, there is some traveling here.
Why is he asking me about a passport?
He wanted to rope you. Like, once you said yes, there's no going back. So you gotta give you a little bit of the time, and then boom.
Yeah.
You can't go back now. No, because you guys, I love the way that, you guys work as a team and your units, because when I have a fight coming up, you'll message me about dinner, and then Jason will message me about the fight, and I love how much you guys work together. That is so amazing to have that dynamic as a couple. You manage speaking of how many fighters do you manage in the UFC?
I think we're at 115, 116 right now.
Wow, that is incredible. Yeah, you need another person to help you with that.
I always tell people she manages the manager.
I bet. Oh my goodness.
And I think sometimes it's good too because you have someone on the road to kind of keep your mind right. Like I remember, like in February of 2018. I think we went 1-9 that month in the UFC, and Ode, it was eating at me. Like I was on the road every week. I was coming out of my skin, and she left a little note in my shoot. I'll never forget. It said, "Don't forget, success looks like this." Right, and then March took off. Right, March I think we went 7-1 or something. It all flipped the other way. Right, like it was a great month, and I think sometimes you need that person to kind of remind you of the macro, because it's so easy to focus on the micro, right? You're so able, and you need someone around you to kind of oversee you sometimes. Sometimes she'll notice something like, hey, did you notice this client was a little quieter than usual? Or she'll pick up on something, and I think that's, the more eyes you have in the situation, the better it'll always be. And I'm thankful to have her.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love seeing you guys work together as a team, because that's what it's all about. When you find that one person that just understands you and knows you through and through, it's an amazing dynamic.
I honestly don't we actually talked about this the other day. I don't know if I would be able to find my life partner now if I didn't meet her when I did, if that makes sense. I think I met her at a perfect time, right when we're about to have a huge growth period in our agency, and she was able to really be a huge part of that and grow together, and she understands the business so well. I think now if I was to meet someone, say I was single and I was to meet someone, it'd be so hard to acclimate them into this run and gun lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt like 2016 we met, I was kind of traveling, she's understanding the business. Cheeto's definitely a hard first client for her to introduce, but then 2017 Contender starts, right? And that's really where things start changing for the agency. All the prospects start getting on the show, start getting more signings. So she was able to really, right when that thing was about to take off, she was really there. Because at the time, and I met you, I had just applied for the NFL license, right? I think I was talking to you about that a little bit.
You applied.
And we were talking about doing football, and we were kind of driving around a lot for that at that time.
Yeah, that summer it was summer 2016.
Yeah, I was
studying for it like every single day. I was kind of like, he hates me. He's barely talking to me, but really he was just studying.
Yeah, because when I met Jason, he actually was with the NFL.
Yes.
And you were, you had your feet in the NFL waters and the UFC. So what made you switch? Go from NFL to the UFC, and what's that like now? What's the difference?
I started feeling that I feel like I just love the culture of MMA. Nothing against NFL. I just feel like I really love you guys. I love everything about working with you guys. You're more hands-on. The NFL, you're a little less hands-on, right? Because you don't really get them till after college. Now it's changed with NIL deals and certain things, but I just felt like MMA was where my passion was at, and so I took it in 2016, right? And then 2017 Contender starts.
Yeah.
And everything changes. Like Telly was part of the 2018 class. You're part of the 2019 class. Everything starts taking off. And it's just us sitting down going, okay, we could have a huge market share here. This is what we're passionate about. This is what we love. Let's just stick with, don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. Let's just really be great at this one thing. And I think it was a smart decision to make that we made. And I think we made that at our old house. I think we were talking about it, and I was kind of going over it with you.
You guys were on the because I remember when I spoke to you guys after my Contender Series fight, you guys were on the fence about moving from California to Vegas, and that was something that you guys were going through. So how has it been, Alyssa, like the change from California to Vegas, would you say?
Actually, the first 2 weeks I was crying a lot because I was like, oh my gosh, I hate it here. Like, it's just going to be fighting all the time. And my family lives in California. So if everyone moved here, I would be perfectly fine. There'd be no complaints. But It's actually been so good. Like, we don't have to live in a hotel anymore. We can go to the grocery store like regular people. Like, we sleep in our own bed sometimes. It's actually been cool that, you know, all the shows are mostly now in Vegas, so we're home more. And actually we get to see our families way more now than we did before, because we have, you know, Monday through Wednesday off kind of to go home. And actually they come here a little too much now. They're like, oh, you live in Vegas? Like, I'm gonna come visit you.
For real.
Like, always. Like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just at home like a normal person on Tuesday. You know, like.
And what's cool about that too is like, you're like almost like mom to a lot of the fighters. I know you had Montel Jackson staying at your house for a little bit. So tell me what that was like.
Yeah,
having
I have an open bedroom all the time for you guys. And if it's not open, I have an air mattress, or like we figure it out. I love having Montel. You know, he likes to watch videos on super loud volume all the time. But he makes Jason like come out of his shell a little bit. Like, he'll force Jason to go have a shake or a burger or a pizza. And so I like having him over. Yesterday we had, you know, Mota over all day long, and he's hilarious. We're doing puzzles and watching TV, like nothing fancy, but it's nice having the guys over, you know, all the time.
And that's huge, because, you know, I've been managed by other agencies before Iridium, and the amount of love that you guys show to us is amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go to your house, I feel like I'm at my house. You know, it's just like, not just that, but outside of fighting, outside of a business relationship, I can personally say you guys are my friend.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that aspect of what you guys have to offer and what you guys bring to the table, because your passion shows so much. And for me, I'm sorry, look, you crying, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, it's just, for me, it's been so good, because all I ever want in life, whether it's my coaches, my managers, my friends, whatever the case may be, all I want is for people to show me that they care about me.
Yeah.
And that's all I've desired since I was a little kid running through the jungle of Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, my goal as a kid, and this was me having thoughts as a kid, was like, man, like, I just want people to care about me. That's all I want. You know what I mean? Because I never, like, my mom was here in the States, you know, trying to make a home for me to bring me here when I was there.
She was sacrificing to do, making that for you. Yeah.
And so even after I got to the States, I had that, like, that fire, like, I want people to care about me, you know what I mean? And so whenever I was signed with Iridium, I was like, man, these guys are amazing. Like, they you know, Jason and I've never texted my manager anything other than management shit. And, you know, I'm messaging Alyssa about food. I'm messaging you about dumb, stupid meme shit, or whatever the case may be. And that's so amazing to us, because a lot of people don't understand. They look at us as fighters and they see the wins or the losses, but they don't see our backgrounds a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? So having that dynamic with you guys, and you guys show us, you guys pour that love into us, it's more than just a management team. It's like a little family, like the Iridium. When you guys had that party at your house with all the Iridium fighters, it was like you know what I'm saying? It was like a family function.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was nothing business about that. It was all family, and it was amazing to me.
I always forget that you guys are like on different teams. Like, I feel like we're just one big team, and I don't even realize that actually some of you guys have probably fought each other, and you're all in our house at the same time. Because you're like our kids, really.
Yeah, for me, I'm just happy that that's the culture that we built here. You know, that's something that I really, when I actually probably right when I started working with Telly, maybe like late 2017. Yeah. I really started like trying to pattern what I want to pattern myself, like look after different coaches or different programs, see what I want to pattern myself after. And I really was a huge fan of PJ Fleck at Minnesota, because he really just talked about like how the purpose of our positions is to serve and give, right? We're here to serve and give to others. Like, that's what we're supposed to do here on this earth. And I believe that's why we're put here on this earth. And to build a good culture, right? To build something that we're proud to be a part of, you know? Like, I love that you and I can just go hang out, have a beer, do whatever. It doesn't have to always be business, because the truth of the matter is, like, fighting is a part of our life, but it isn't our whole life. It will come to an end at some point. And I want to make sure that everyone that's a part of my group has a lasting experience. Like, when they look back at those memories, they're happy, they're fulfilled. Like, man, we did a lot together. We traveled the world together. We're on some big cards together. Like, that's what you want, you know? if I look back on my college baseball days, like I probably couldn't tell you all the wins and losses or the stats, but I could tell you all the good memories that we had.
Ah, man.
And I think like that's what my goal is for you guys, is just to really be there. Because like you said, you don't understand the background of these athletes. You only see them you only see them once every 3 or 4 months for 15 minutes on TV. And I really just try to appreciate everything that it's taken for you to get to those moments. I know how much you've gone through. I know how much Telly's gone through. I know how much so many people have gone through to get to that moment, and it should be recognized and cherished regardless of the wins or the losses, right? I mean, you guys are UFC fighters. You know how hard it is to be a UFC fighter in this world?
Oh my goodness. There's only what, like 750 of us?
Yeah, I'd give you a finger to be a UFC fighter for a day, okay? like literally, and I watch you and I'm like, man, look what you've done, O'Day. Like, what are the odds from you to come from Jamaica to be a UFC fighter? And I know we get caught up in this, and it's hard when you're a hard worker. Like you're always like, what's next? What's next? What can I do better? But there's also times you have to sit back and say, man, O'Day, I'm so proud of you, man. Look how far you've come, bro. This is insane.
Yeah, man.
What are the odds on this?
But that's why I love you guys, because you understand. Most people don't think like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people, to me, I'm just a number. That's how it is. So when you find good people, like me, I try to hold on to them I'm like, no, you're not going anywhere. Like y'all are stuck with me.
I mean, but think about it. We're giving you hours of our life, days of our life. Like everything has a cost, right? Everything has an exchange on it. Like if I'm gonna I want to do it with someone like you, right? If I'm gonna give hours into something, like at least I know I feel fulfilled, I feel loved, right? We walk out of this, we love each other, and like we communicate together, and then I think that helps us do better business because we know each other on such a different level, right? Like that's just my opinion, people talk about Brandon Moreno. I was like, dude, I signed Brandon when he was cut. I had no idea he was gonna be anything of anything.
Yeah.
I signed him because I liked him. Yeah. When I signed you, you weren't in years. I just signed you because I like you.
Yeah.
And Jake kept saying all these great things about what an amazing person you are. I'm like, dude, you sound like he fits our image perfectly, our culture perfectly.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Telly didn't say 6 words for a year to me, but now we cool. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that's what you want, right?
Yeah,
you just want people you love working with.
100%. And you remind me, because of how you are, the way you think. I remember, I forgot what fight it was, but I was reading a book, and you're like, I've read that book, and I've read the I think it was the 4 Agreements or something like that.
4 Agreements, yep.
Yeah, and I love that you read a lot, and you take a lot of knowledge, and you give back that knowledge to people.
One thing from the 4 Agreements I took that helped with a lot of fighters is when people project on you.
Yes.
And fighters, and you guys have all the nerves, all the media, all the training, the stress, the personal life. Sometimes when people project on me, at least they're like, oh, how can you be so calm? I'm like, they're projecting.
Yeah.
They're nervous.
Yeah.
I love them. I know they got a good heart. It's just a moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
100%.
It's just what they're, you have to fully understand what they're going through to serve them the best. How could you?
Yeah,
if you don't have that empathy, right? If you don't have that in them, like maybe he had a bad day sparring. That's why he's kind of down on the phone right now. But maybe I was like, dude, O'Day, you just cut your carbs out or whatever. Maybe that's why you had a bad round, or you know how it is. But man, because I've seen you uplift a lot of your teammates too.
Yeah,
and they're kind of a little down and out, and it's like, hey, man.
I try to, man.
Just let it go.
I try to.
You
know who you remind me of? Your personality. You remind me a lot of, just by the way you think and the way that you go about what you do. James Krause, actually.
Yes.
You guys are very similar in the way that you guys go about, business and personal. You know what I'm saying? Just the way that you guys are very passionate about what y'all do. Yeah. And I was like, man, those you guys together are great. And John Orlando, he has a thing, and I'm sure he's probably said it to you. He bets on fights. He already knows where I'm about to go with this. So John Orlando, his motto is Krause or House. When guys are fighting, bet on Krause or House. That's his go-to.
I think one thing that James has done is just pour his heart and soul into his fighters, to his people, and I think that's all you can do. That's all you can do, right? Like, I was reading this quote. I forget who it was by. I think it was a basketball coach. But he was basically saying, like, the results are uncontrollable, right? They really are. But the only piece comes from the process of just doing things right. And I think James does such an amazing job of that, right? Of just like...
100%. And one of the things I like about James Krause is that the fact he won his last fight, right? And usually people don't leave the UFC on a win. They're trying to get to the championship level. But he loves coaching so much that he's like, you know what? I'm going to put my ego aside, and I'm going to do what my passion I'm gonna fulfill my passion.
But I mean, what better than receiving is to give, right?
Exactly.
And he probably felt like the joy of giving these people these experiences that he's already received, you know. And he comes from a great MMA tree. You know, Mark Montoya was his coach. I think Mark really set a good example for him, really set the tone. I mean, when James went to Mark, that's when he went on that 6-fight win streak, right? So I think that family tree of fighting has really produced a lot of good. And I love seeing his joy in the corner, because I feel like,
for sure,
one of my biggest goals for you guys is for you to be able to, for you to tell the sport when you want to walk away, not for the sport to tell you when it's time to walk away.
100%.
And I think, like you said, James had the ability to do that, and I was really happy to be a small part of that with him, and to see him make his decisions, you know, and kind of segue after, because I think too many times fighters, like, you know, I say, don't focus on plan B. It takes away from plan A, and so you're all focused fighting. But you kind of need to think about get plan B going, because you don't know when this is going to end. You know, and you kind of have to. Bro. And I want to make sure, like, O'Day, I mean, I hope we do this rodeo together for many more years. Bro. But who knows? Yeah. But either way, even if you went to 40, say, you still have half your life to live. And I just want to make sure that back half is good, right? That we're using the opportunities presented us now, so that me and you were having a beer at whatever age, still old and gray and sexy.
Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah, we were bad as fuck. We were studs.
Now we're fucking, you know, now I'm fucking pushing a stroller around.
Yeah, but that's what you want, you know? And no, James has been
You'll
amazing.
have to have them on at the same time, because watching them go back and forth, I mean, they'll go back and forth all day long, bickering.
I believe it.
Talking fights.
I believe it,
but
man.
You know what, though? I'll tell you this. I didn't know much about cryptocurrency. I still don't think I do. I don't know much about real estate. Yeah. But I love that anytime I call James, he'll help me advance my knowledge, but help me to advance my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's really cool. You know, like I know what I don't know. Yeah. And I try to find people that do know to serve you guys. Yeah. And I love that he's always been, hey man, like the other day, like Cheeto wants to get a rental property right now. I said, hey James, you got 15, 20 minutes to talk to Cheeto? No problem. And went over everything. Hey, I would wait here, do this, finance it like this. I mean, just...
Oh man,
it has no. I mean, like him and Cheeto are cool. I'm not saying, but I'm saying like there's no connection.
Dude,
really.
that's
You know what I mean?
amazing,
Like he's just, hey, no problem, I got you. Yeah. And I just think like, man, as our MMA community is so cool like that. I feel like
it's so cool,
right?
Man.
Like you're bringing guys in from all different camps. I mean, I just love what we have here in MMA.
Dude, the MMA community is the closest community there is, in my opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Our community is so close. Yeah. Like it's so weird how close. Like you could literally can beat the shit out of somebody in a cage and then hug them after and cry and be like, yo, good fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I've said this before in my last podcast. Like, we just got done fighting each other. If there's not a level of respect that is here, I don't know. Like, the level of respect you have after fighting somebody, it's insane. Like, I'm having Manil Kopp come on my podcast, like, next week. Yeah. You know, and I'm going to ask him about, you know, his knockout with me. Like, why'd you do that to me, bro? You know, but it's like our community is so dope. And, you know, speaking of James Krause, it's like you can see his passion. And if I wasn't here in Las Vegas, I probably would be at his gym with him. Honestly, I would ask him if I can come with him. And, you know, I messaged him like a week or two ago being like, hey, you know, can I come check your gym out and stuff like that? Or, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm here now and I'm happy, I'm comfortable with where I'm at. But if James Krause was here, I'd probably be at his gym. Like, because I love how he goes about and his passion. Yeah. You know, his passion oozes out of his skin. Yeah. You know, I love people like that. I love it.
Alyssa was making fun of me because Monster Energy Drink came to do this filming of me for this documentary on Brandon.
Today?
Stop it. No, like a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know if you know. James is like one of his best friends. I mean, they even dress alike without even planning it.
Anyways,
they'll come out dressed.
I believe it.
Hans was asking a question about James, and I started crying on the thing because I remember how much he took it seriously with Brandon for it. You know, he knew the pressure that was at stake for us to win that fight against Kai. And just seeing his level of commitment to it was like, man, he didn't want to let me down. You know what I mean? He told me that, and I felt like, damn, like, I mean, it's about Brandon, but I felt like the love that he had, it was just, I've never seen that. You know, I've never seen someone stress so much to make sure that, you know, because I was like, hey, I trust that you're going to get this done. Yeah. You know, I mean, whatever happens, bro, it's a fight. Yeah. Anything can happen in a fight, right? Like, you can get a cut and it could be, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you really can't control, no matter how much you practice, but
Will
Anyways.
you start to cry again?
No. But you know what I mean? I really
I do know, man.
Like him and Mark, they've been two people that I just think the world of, because they've been there for me on a personal and a professional level.
But that's passion. You know what I'm saying? That's true passion.
Yeah.
Like when you love what you do and you give your heart and soul for what you do, that's what life is about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could have been like, you know what? I'm gonna do this NFL thing because, you know what I mean, I can make some good money in it. But the fact that you were like, yo, you know what? I'm really passionate about, you know, these fighters.
Yeah.
And going this route. That's huge because it shows that you are a passionate person.
Yeah.
You know, and that's amazing to see that, you know, and
Mark gave us this book. It was called Chase the Lion, and it was it's by Mark Batterson. Is that who it is? I think it's Mark Batterson. And it's one of my favorite books. I was going to give it to you, actually. You'll love it. But it talks about like how if you serve your, it's like you're put here on this earth to pursue your dream. Because if you pursue your dream, it open up other dreams for other people.
Can we get that up there? Chase the Lion?
Chase the Lion.
Who's that? Not get it up on the screen, but who's that by? Chase the Lion?
Yeah. And so basically, like, for example, like me chasing my dream being an agent, it created opportunities for Jacob and Lance to have jobs as opportunities as agents, right? By Mark achieving his dream of being a coach, it opened the door for James to, you know what I mean? Like, you see the trickle effect of what you're leaving in this world, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Look what Mark had done for James. Look what James is doing for others. You know what I mean? Look at like the life that we're all contributing to. Remember you were telling me the things you want to do back home in Jamaica, you know what I mean? And like that's the mark that you leave, right? And so that's why it's one of my favorite books. It keeps it in perspective what we're really here for. The dollars, the wins, whatever. It's really about leaving an impact that creates opportunities for others.
That's amazing, man.
That's what I think. Yes, that's it right there.
That's it. Chase the Lion.
Yep.
And
I'll bring it over to you. Mark Batterson. I have it right, see?
Mark Batterson. Okay.
But Mark Montoya gave me this book about a year ago, and it was a game changer for me.
I will definitely have to take a look at that.
It's why I
man.
got the lion tatted.
Oh, that's dope, man. I will have to take a look at that. You know, when people see lions, everybody, you know, I listen to Eric Thomas. Am I saying Thomas?
Yeah.
Thompson? Thomas.
Eric Thompson.
I listen to Eric Thomas a lot. Like, he's my favorite motivational speaker. Because everybody, you see people with lions on their profile picture. Everyone has lions. Because lions are, you know, they're ferocious.
Yeah.
But no one really understands the lion's role, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like a lion, yes, they're ferocious, but they're also strategic.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lion will never go head up with an elephant, but in a pack, they will.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And not just that, but lions hunt early in the morning. They hunt early in the morning where their energy is full and where other animals are weakest. They can sense if another animal is weaker than them.
Yep.
That is amazing. And just lions have so much strategy and just the way that they go about doing what they do. Eric Thomas always says, everybody wants to be a lion, but nobody wants to wake up at 4 a.m. to go hunt. You know what I mean? Ain't that the truth, man? It's 100%.
I always, when I first started dating Lisa, I was making her get up with me at 4.
No, it was 3:30. 3:30. And that 30 minutes makes a difference.
Lisa was like, nah, it was 3:30. Don't try to jip me from my 30 minutes. No, it was earlier than that.
I have so many photos times 3:30 is the timestamp.
Now I get up early, and then I usually put the toothpaste on her toothbrush, and I bring her coffee by 7:30 in the morning. That's usually kind of the...
And he calls 7:30 sleeping in. He's like, "Oh, you don't get up till 7:30." I'm like, "That's still early."
But you know what it is, Adi? I just want to make sure that I show her that I love her before the day gets too crazy. Does that make sense? Like here's toothpaste on your toothbrush. Show you how I thought it. Here's some coffee. It sounds simple and people make fun of me for it, but it's like, not. You know how it is. Like you can lose, like your pillar is your wife, right?
Dude, for real.
My pillar is our friendship. The sport's gonna come and go. My pillars, Casey Halstead told me this once in 2017 when I started coming up. He was like, hey man, I'm proud of you, but never forget something. Your pillars are your wife and your family and friends. When this is all gone, when you walk away, these are the most important things. Don't forget what your pillars are. Go out, soar like an eagle, have fun, do your thing. But don't forget your pillars. And I've never forgot. Casey, like literally, you know, been a great mentor to me as well. And I'll never forget that he said that because I was like, man, Alyssa's got to come first. Alyssa's always, the first thing I do is serve her before I serve others.
Ooh, bro, that's amazing. Because one of my best friends, he's probably about your age. He told me this a long time ago. He said, you know, my wife, her pillar is our kids. But me, she is my pillar.
Yep.
And that's how it's supposed to be. And I asked him, I was like, oh, why, what made you come to that? He's like, because here's the thing. When my kids move out, I'll have my wife. She's gonna have my back until I die.
Yep.
My kids are gonna be off. They're gonna be married, getting their own kids. But my wife, that's who is number one. That's why I put my wife before my kids. And he said that, and I was like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, how it's not foolish or people make fun of you. They just don't get it, but that's how it should be.
No, our pastor said it once. He's like, hey, I always put toothpaste on my wife's toothbrush. The first thing I do in the morning, show her that I love her. I was like, dude, I'm on that. Like, I'm stealing that. You know what I mean? And then just the coffee every morning just to show her first, because it's so easy to get caught up in our day, right? And it's when you're a hunter and you're going after it's so hard to what's next? And but sometimes you need to still like, hey, I'm blessed. I have a really beautiful wife. She travels the world with me. She puts up with this. She cries when you guys lose. She cries when you guys win.
I cry when you ask me about you guys.
You cry when you ask me about you guys, but I think it's awesome. You know what's crazy is like Frank Camacho fought Jeff Neal in Dallas, September of 2018.
He's really trying to put me on blast.
No, this is a huge.
This story always makes me cry.
This is the hugest compliment, but like, it was like a week or two before our marriage.
Yeah.
And Frank got knocked out. It was a tough loss, and I'll never forget how Lisa was bawling, crying, disturbed, a wreck. But it's like, wouldn't you want it no other way? Like, if it didn't mean that much, why are we doing it, O'Day? Yeah. Right? If it didn't hurt that bad, why are you doing it?
Exactly.
And I was like, man, if I needed a sign from God, hey, this is the one. Yeah. She cared that much, right? She's that bought in. Yeah. And it crushed her, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put her on that roller coaster that you and I are on. But it's like, at least she's riding next to you, like, hey, when you win, I'm happy. When you lose, I'm gutted.
Oh man, she's a real one, man. She a real one. She's a ride or die.
That was my sign. I was like, God, if I needed a sign, I'm like, cool.
That was 4 years ago. It still makes me cry, like, every time he brings it
up. She's your Ricky from Boys in the Hood. She's your Ricky, man. Ride or die till the wheels fall off.
But I love that. She loves you guys, and that's how it should be.
That's exactly how it should be.
You guys put so much. Oh, you work so hard in the gym. When I watch you, man, in my head, I'm like, we owe that same to you, right? We owe that to you because you do so much on your side. It's like, dude, I got to do my part. Bro. I got to get up at 4 a.m. because I'd be cheating you if I didn't.
And that's why I'm with Iridium, man. That's why you guys are the best.
People are like, oh, why are you going to this event? Like, I have to go to every event. You got to be there on site for your boys. You don't know what's going to happen. It's always crazy in our world. It could be like the Diaz comms. You don't know what's going to happen if you're not, like the whole world. Like by 9 a.m., the whole world was upside down.
Dude, but that's why I said I think the UFC is one of the most exciting organization in the entire world.
It is.
If the NFL had some shit like where, couple, like half the team was hurt, they would have canceled them games. The UFC is like, nah, fam, we gonna rearrange this card and we about to make something happen on the spot. And they did. Yep. The rearrangement was better than the regular.
Exactly.
And they're the only ones that can do that. Who else can do that?
No one.
No one else can do that.
People are like, I know people are like caught up in this whole like conspiracy thing. Kind of made me laugh. But the bottom line is like what Sean and Mick and Hunter, they were able to pull off like in a matter of hours before weigh-ins was like, dude, they did the ultimate shuffle. Hey, and it worked.
Hey, shout out to Sean and Mick, man. They get the VIP for that night,
Best
man.
In the business.
They had their Belichick on. Like they were at it, man. I was like, damn.
You just have to imagine when their phone rings, like it's okay. What's this gonna be? What's gonna happen? Especially if it's like a Thursday night, Friday morning call. You're like, oh.
Bro. That's why I'm like, bro. I know fighters who don't have managers, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Like, I do not want to deal with that. Like, no way, Jose. Like, I'm already fighting and doing all this extra stuff on the side. Yeah. Why would I want to deal with like? Having to communicate with the UFC and book my own fights and stuff. I'm like, no, hell no. It's like, but the thing about it is, people will be like, oh yeah, well, I don't get to pay 20% or 10%. I'm like, dude, for me, here's how I look at it is, I will gladly give you 20% to do all the work that you're doing for me. Shit, you deserve more. You know what I mean? I for me, that's a lot. That's amazing.
Alyssa's over here looking at like, where's my cut? She's like over here. She's over here looking at me like, giving the.
Oh man, that's amazing. Oh, so I do have a segment, and this segment is called "Would You Try This?"
Okay.
And so you guys are the first experiment for this segment.
Okay.
So this segment is called "Would You Try This?" And viewers, would you try this as well? So why don't we run that segment?
All right, y'all. Y'all already know it's your boy Joaquin Newmaster Buckley. We're gonna be doing something a little different today, man. We're gonna be trying out the one chip challenge of 2022. All right. So you got a Reaper pepper and scorpion pepper in there. Oh shit, we got a warning label. Do not eat if you're sensitive to spicy food, allergic to peppers, or are pregnant. I ain't pregnant, but I got titties though. Wash your hands, gotta stay clean, with soap, and do not touch your eyes or any other sensitive areas. You already know what it is. And seek medical assistance should you experience difficulties breathing, fainting, or extended nausea. Black ass chip, nigga. Motherfucking moldy. Which piece should I try first? Alright, we're just gonna go with the little piece. Ain't bad. That's easy. What the fuck everybody be tripping about? Hey, excuse me, I need some more lemonade. Woo!
Oh, I got you. I didn't realize you were doing
He took his shirt off.
Oh, man. It's still hot. It's still hot. God damn. The one chip challenge. Fuck that shit.
Yo, I've ended up messaging him like we talk back and forth, and I hate that he's fighting Chris because Chris and me are good friends.
I love
Chris is amazing, and
Chris and Joe Rosa have probably the two best stories.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. So when I was messaging him, I was like, so was it like worse than you thought or just as bad? And he was like, it was way worse and I'll never do that shit again. So my question for you is, would you try it? We're going to go with Jason first. Would you try that?
Yeah, I would.
You would. All right. I suspected you would, man. I knew it. I would. Alyssa, would you try it?
I would not. I mean, for free, like for what? Like why?
Because we're men. That's what we do.
This is why I don't want to have sons. Like, because they do stuff like this. Or like jump off the roof into a pool and then they miss. Like stuff like that. It's like, no.
That's why the life expectancy for males are like way lower than it is for women.
Like, hell yeah. She's like, what? No. That's a horrible idea.
It's crazy because I posted a video. We're at Marab's house and they're all jumping off the wall into the pool. And
I said something.
Yeah, she commented on it and she's like, why? She's like, are you doing that? I hope you're not doing that. And I'm like, no, I'm black. We don't do that.
It's like, stop recording the ones that are doing it. Tell them not to do it. Like,
I'm like, hell no, it's entertainment for me.
Nervous.
I'm recording in case one of them misses. I have to get documentation. Who else is gonna get it? You know what I mean?
That's
true.
It's
true.
So for the viewers, I would love to know who would try this, and I think what I'm gonna do one day is
You got to bring it here and have them.
That's
do
what
it here.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Do it here.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's exactly
cool.
what I'm gonna do. It's not good. This ain't no ordinary show.
And maybe we'll get some like sponsors. They get like a little prize.
Yeah.
So for Alyssa, they're like, why are you doing it? Because you get the prize.
Trust me, I'm way ahead of you.
There's something.
John Orlando. You don't even know what you signed up for. I'm way ahead of you. I'm bringing all that shit here, and we're just gonna bust out the would you try this one chip challenge, the hot chips.
Yeah, like if you put a bag in front of me and you're like, would you try this with this bag? Then yeah, probably. But for free, for nothing, no.
No, she should like something really pricey, a bag. You know what I mean? Right?
Like supposedly the cold plunge is like really good for your skin. So that's the only reason I've been trying to get myself in there.
Have you done it, the cold plunge?
I did it, yeah, twice.
What was your longest? I want to know, what was your longest time in the cold plunge?
Well, I thought I was only doing 2 minutes on Sunday or Saturday, but Jason was like, oh, you're almost at 2 minutes, but it was really 3 minutes or 3 minutes and 20 seconds or something like that.
I Miyagi'd her. she didn't know what was going on.
Was it like worse than you thought or just as bad, or how was your thought process?
The first time I feel like it was worse than I thought because I didn't realize how bad it hurts your feet. Like it hurts your feet so bad.
Your joints, not just your feet, but your hands and your feet hurt the worst.
And so I was like just doing the legs and then getting out and then doing my toe, getting out. And then he's like, just do it already. He was like getting so pissed at me. And so I just got my whole body in and it was easier and it was not as bad as I thought.
No, because once after 2 minutes, once your body gets numb, it's like, But that first minute is brutal, because it like burns. Like I've never known cold to burn.
Yeah.
Until I hit like what?
I think it's, I mean, for me, it's like you're going to suffer the pain of something, right? So you rather do the pain of prehab than the pain of rehab. You know what I mean?
True,
like
that's true.
you better jump on it now and just be ahead of it. And
Yeah.
she it wasn't that bad. Like she acts like, honestly, O'Day, I'm not even lying. She got in and she didn't even do the whole shiver. Like she actually was a G about it.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I was like, okay, you got
Only
this.
because he told me the skin thing. I'm like, he said it's good for your skin, so I'm just really going to try to force myself to be in here.
Yeah, it's good for a lot of things too, like your blood cell count, everything. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you do it in the morning. If you do it in the morning before you start your day.
Yeah.
I heard that it is just amazing for your body. You know, I think it's either your red blood cells. I have to, don't quote me, but I think it's your red blood cells that it replenishes. But and you know how they say take a cold shower? Well, forget a cold shower. The cold plunge hits way harder than a cold shower. 100%. 100%.
I love it. Cheeto got me hooked up with Morosco Forge, and man, their thing is amazing. Like it self cleans. Yeah. You just plug it in.
You got one in your house?
Yeah.
Bro, your house, man. You what? Oh, dudes have he's got everything in his house. He's got the sauna that he just got. The cold plunge. Grass. We're in Vegas. And this man is the only person that I've been to their house and he has grass. Like I have not seen one person with real grass in his backyard just flourishing. I'm like, yo, this man's house has everything. How is that sauna, by the way?
It's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I see you in it, man. I'm jealous. I'm like, I'm about to come over there and crash that sauna, crash the party.
Mota came yesterday, Nicholas, and did the sauna, did the cold plunge, hung out for a bit. It was cool.
I want to do that, man.
Lisa likes the sauna a lot.
Yeah,
she actually gets in quite a bit.
Yeah, I love to do stuff like that. Like I'll do the cold plunge, I'll do the sauna, but I don't know. Like I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is, but I like doing stuff with somebody else. Like I hate being by myself.
Yeah.
Me too.
I have to put like a show on in the sauna if I'm by myself. I have to put something on to kind of like, if you're just sitting there, you're just kind of like.
Right. For real, especially because not just that, but when you're like conversing with somebody, it makes the time go by.
So much faster.
When you're by yourself, it feels like, for me, I'm like, damn, it's been an hour, and it's only been like a minute and 30 seconds.
Plus, we never cut weight alone, though. All those early days we're in the sauna, like, we're always in a group together talking.
That's true.
You can do it. 2 more minutes, you know?
They're lying their ass off. Anytime someone says 2 more minutes, that means like you already completed your whatever it is time you've been in.
Okay, so now I know for next time.
Right.
All of my coaches
all
lie.
the old school trick that she got played on. She's like, really? Longest 2 minutes of my life.
Yeah, they're like
He's like, come on, 20 more seconds. Like, actually, you did 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm like, I said 2 minutes.
She wasn't even shaking. She was fine. She was sitting there like.
That's amazing though, because cold, man, no. I hate the cold. That's why I moved from Wisconsin to here, because I can't do the cold no more.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do Wisconsin.
So the Vegas cold, is it cold for you? Because it's
Hell
really
no.
cold for me.
No.
Like coming from Vegas,
Not
like
even close.
I wear like this long trench coat.
Remember the UFC
thing.
card in Milwaukee in December?
Yeah.
In 2018?
Yeah.
Bro.
Frigid.
Your manager, horribly underdressed. I went from Hawaii, Bellator.
Yeah.
Overnight flight to Milwaukee, got off, and I was like, where am I? What is this place?
So December here is not cold to you? Like,
no,
you don't
not at all. December, so
that's like
November,
normal.
December, yeah, man. January is a little chilly, you know what I mean? But it's nothing compared to Wisconsin, man. It's not even
horrible.
It is terrible. That's why they have the best wrestlers in the country, because they're miserable all the time. So you gotta be a damn good wrestler, and you're miserable all the time.
You can't go outside and play sports. It's always so cold. So you're indoors wrestling.
That's why collegiate wrestling in Florida is not that, they don't have like a D1 collegiate school, because people are happy. They're like, I don't want to wrestle. I'm happy. I want to go surf.
To the beach.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was so good. It was a pleasure having you guys on the show. If there's anything that you want to plug, feel free.
I'm just thankful for having me on, having Alyssa on.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this chip challenge now. I want to see how this goes, you know?
You don't even know. That's not even, there's more. You know how I am. The gears in my brain don't stop. Like I'm up at night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, that's a good idea. That's the beauty about ADHD, man. People are like, oh, it's a deficit. Like, ain't no damn deficit. I love having ADHD. Ain't no deficit. That's my superpower.
Heck
you know what I mean? Like, forget y'all. That's my superpower. It makes me be on 12 when I need to be.
Heck yeah. I love it.
Well, you said you'd try it, so you'll be back.
Yes, I'll be back.
You
I'll
said
do
you'd
it.
try it.
I'm going to try it. I've always been curious. I see people do it. It's like, it's just a chip. How bad could it be? But then I see people and I'm like, oh shoot.
I feel like Lance would do it. I'm gonna get Lance to do it. He would do it.
It has to be a vegan one though.
Yeah,
it has to be a vegan.
That's true.
Hot chip.
But yeah, man, it was a pleasure and a pleasure to have you guys both on the show. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are like family to me, and hopefully we can do this again.
Heck yeah.
And Jason House, Alyssa House, it was amazing. Once again, guys, my name is Ode Osborne, and this is Gwaan Podcast. And if you don't know what Gwaan means, you better know by now, because Gwaan is what's up in Jamaica, and I've been saying it for over and over now. So I'll see you guys out.